Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I'll be wrapping up my budget for the month of January. So for January, the budget that I had was 77,200 rupees, and intentionally I gave myself 45,000 from my private practice instead of the 43,000 that I have given myself as fixed salary from my private practice. Because I had my nephew's birthday in January, I decided to give myself a little bit more extra because I knew that the expenses were going to be happening. So now let's get into my breakdown. For my savings and investment category, I had given myself 7,720 rupees, and this is 10% of the amount that I budgeted with. And this is what I actually put into it, and there's no difference here, so the numbers will remain the same. It's quite windy here and a lot of dogs are barking. So if you can hear that, I'm really sorry about that, but I'm helpless and I think I'm going to get cough and cold. I just took bath. It's 10 p.m. and it's very cold out here. So yeah, that was 10%. There was no difference. And then coming to my fixed costs and utilities, there are some categories that remains constant throughout the year. I forgot to put here the difference is 0. Here also it will be 0. For my fixed costs and utilities, the budgeted amount was 48,880 rupees, and insurance remained the same. Siblings fund will also remain the same. Room rent also was same, 4,500. EMI 15,000 is also was same. LIC loan was also same, 1,000. And for ration also I did give myself 4,000 rupees. And all of these categories, the difference is 0. And then for the rest of the categories, this is where sometimes the amount that I had budgeted exceeds the actual expense, or sometimes it is lesser than what I actually spent. For subscription, I gave myself 4,920 in January because I did an annual recharge for my JioPhone number, and the cost was 3,601 rupees. And then for my other connection, I did a 3 months package which was 801. And then there was a recharge for Tata Sky, that's 400 rupees, and Jio Cinemas was 29 rupees because I was watching Bigg Boss. For this category as well, I did spend 4,920. This was very accurate and this was intentional. I knew which were the things that I needed to recharge. Then now coming to my petrol category, I had budgeted 3,500 and I spent only 2,800 rupees. This was for a full tank, so that means I had a remaining balance of 700 rupees. And then for my hair, I budgeted 500 rupees, but I ended up spending 450 only. For anyone who is new, I color my hair and then every month I do a touch up. So I know that this is a non-negotiable for me, and that's why I always budget something for my hair category. Sometimes the money is enough, sometimes it exceeds as well, but in January I only spent 450, and so I had a remaining balance of 50 rupees. Then coming to my food and groceries category, I budgeted 7,000 rupees, and this is what I always give myself for food and groceries category. But in January, I only spent 4,750 rupees in my food and groceries category. I think this is also because in January we had lots of parties. There was this New Year party, and then there was a clan picnic, and then there was my nephew's birthday. There was a lot of things happening, so it was not only me who was purchasing stuffs. All the family members, my brothers and sisters, my parents, they were all pooling in together, and so we had so much food at home. And also my mother has a kitchen garden. We had lots of vegetables from her garden as well. Every year she does this winter gardening, and we have lots of beans, cabbages, cauliflowers, tomatoes, chilies. That was also one of the reasons why I didn't spend much in food and groceries. And we still have some broccolis, we still have cabbages and cauliflowers in the garden. 4,750 minus 7,000, I had a remaining balance of 2,250 rupees. And coming to my workwear category, I gave myself 5,000 rupees. I put this category in my fixed costs and utilities because I'm somebody who forgets to buy clothes. I've been working for more than 10 years now, and I know how important it is to dress up properly. So intentionally I have put this category here because then when I see that I have money in this category, I at least go out and buy stuffs. So this is a recurring category, which means whatever I budgeted, that is what I put into this category. And even if I don't spend the money on that particular month, I carry that over to the next month. and then next one I'll be putting a little bit more, and so that way the money starts growing. It's kind of like a sinking fund, but I have my sinking fund category here. I hope this is not bothering so much. I'll just put it here like that. Yes, but I have my sinking fund categories here. I'll just call it the recurring category, and this money I did put 5,000 into it, so there is no difference here. Now the budget was 48,880 rupees, but the actual expense was 45,880 rupees, which is 59% of the budgeted amount. Here it was 63%, but I ended up spending only 59%. And then here, if I add this up, it is 3,000 rupees. So this 3,000 is the money that I did not spend, which I thought I would spend. So I'll just keep it here for now, and I'll come to the sinking fund. For my sinking fund, I budgeted 2,000 rupees, which is 3% of the budgeted amount. And I did put the same. I did spend some money from my sinking funds category in the month of January. From health and medical, I spent some money to buy an eye gel. I have dry eyes, and so this was an old prescription. The medicine expired out, so I had to buy a new one. And then from my vacation sinking fund, I took out 3,000 rupees and I gave that to my mother because she was going on a trip, and I had saved that this money to go on a trip. I couldn't go because of work commitments, and she was going. I wanted to go. Instead of that, I just gave her 3,000 rupees to spend. She didn't ask for it. I just offered because then it felt like, I don't know, it just felt like I was going to. I did not spend any money from my car maintenance sinking fund, and then I did not spend any money from my pets category as well. So that is for my sinking fund. And then coming to my spending category, I gave myself 18,600 rupees, which is 24% of the amount that I was budgeting with. But I ended up spending 22,970 rupees, which is 28% of 77,200 rupees. That means I was over budget by 4,370 rupees. So in the end of the month, I went through all my expenses to find out exactly where I'd spend most of the money, and I saw that most of the money was spent in gifts. There were 2 birthdays. There was one wedding where I attended, so I had to buy a gift. There was also a housewarming party, and I did buy something for that also. And then there was a childbirth, and I had gone to see the baby, and so I did buy something for the baby as well. So the total amount that I spent in gifts in the month of January was 11,260 rupees. All these years, like I have been budgeting for a long time now. At first, I used to not track my expenses. I used to only budget. And then later on, I started tracking expenses. And most of the months when I go through my expenses, I see that every month I spend a lot of money on gifts. And this is something that I think I need to, control. But there's also one thing, and that's I love giving gifts. I love being able to do things for people I feel are my own, and my love language is giving gifts. So that is also one of the reason why I think I spend a lot of money on gifts. For someone who's watching for the first time, my spending category is for everything that I've not budgeted here. It's for eating out, it's for my skincare, because as you can see, I don't have any beauty category here. And it's also for my personal miscellaneous expenses, like say I want to buy a book. If I go for a massage, I pay from there. If I buy something for someone, I pay from there. If I'm going out to eat, I pay from there. After gifts, the area where I spent the most money in January was for my personal expenses, which was for skincare, because I did buy 2-3 new products that I've not been using. I've started incorporating glycolic acid into my skincare. I also needed to restock a ceramide cream that I really love. That's from COSRX. I love that cream a lot, and it's very cold here. It's very windy here, so I need that heavy cream. And also I do give my clothes for ironing every month. Ironing is something I hate. I don't want to do it. I find it tedious, I find it boring. I don't have the energy to be standing for an hour to iron my clothes every week, because my work as a physical therapist requires me to be on my feet throughout the day. So when I come home, I don't want to be standing anymore. So that is why I give my clothes to iron, and every month there's also expenses there for ironing. Now the laundry, they recognize me because I give clothes for ironing every week. So they have lessened the charges. They don't charge me like how they charge others. but still, and there is a certain charge that I need to pay them every month. I was thinking like if I should put that category into my fixed costs and utilities, but then again, I do not want to have lots and lots of categories. I don't feel very comfortable with that. And then I spend 1640 rupees in eating out. I am somebody who loves to eat out, but I'm trying to control it because of my health. Because also I feel like it's unnecessary to spend too much money in eating out. I've cut it down a lot, but I have given myself permission to go and eat out once a week. And then there were also some miscellaneous expenses, like a small expense here, a small expense there. And now as you can see that I was over budget by 4,370, but I have 3,000 rupees here remaining from my fixed costs and utilities that I did not spend. So what I did is I adjusted a 3,000 here. 4,370 minus 3,000 will be, I was actually over budget by 1,370 rupees. This amount is what I budgeted, and this is 77,200. And this is what I actually spent. That is 78,570 rupees. And now if I subtract the actual expense from the budgeted amount, I have a difference of 1,370 rupees. So 1,370 is the over budget amount. So let us go back here. The budget is 32,200, which is the same for my salary amount. And then for my private practice, I had budgeted 45,000, but I ended up actually paying myself 46,370 rupees. So the total is 78,570 rupees. So this was my living expenses for the month of January. And then I also want to add another section whenever I do my budget closeout from now on, and that is I want to track my provident fund. I used to do it before, but I stopped, and I think I'll start it again. And I also want to start tracking my debts here, because I used to do Transfer Tuesday videos every week, but lately I have not been able to keep up with it. So now what I have decided is every week I will be doing the Transfer Tuesdays, but I won't be filming it, and then in the end of the month I will do an update. So that way it will be better. I will not have to keep coming and saying sorry. So now for my provident fund, the financial year is from April to March. So from April 2024 up to January 2025, the total amount that I've been able to deposit into it so far is 38,400 rupees. I have only been able to put 25% of the maximum amount. And then now coming to my debt update, I am working on 3 debts. One is a personal loan that I took from State Bank of India, and then there is a LIC loan, and then the construction fund also. I put that into my debt category only because I am actually paying back money to myself as in I'm paying back money to my business emergency fund. I started the month with 4,81,950 rupees in January, and the monthly EMI is 15,000. This is automatically deducted from my account. The amount that went into the principal was 10,315 rupees, which means the interest was 4,685 rupees. So the new balance is 4,71,635 rupees. For my LIC loan, I started the month with 1,05,890 rupees left to pay it off, and throughout the month I did deposit some amount into it, which is 3,908 plus 29 plus 956 plus 2,333, which is 8,326 is what I deposited into my LIC loan. Out of that, 8,290 is what went into the principal deposit, and the interest that I paid was 36 rupees for the month. So that means by the end of January, the total amount that was left is 97,600 rupees. And you can see it reflected here. This is the transfer that I did in the month of January, and this is for the month of February. And then for my construction fund, I have a goal of allocating 6,000 rupees into my construction fund each month. But let me see how much did I put in January. I was only able to allocate 4,500. So let me write that down. 4,500. And there is no minimum deposit because this is something that I'm paying back to myself. And now let me subtract 4,500 from this amount. So the new balance is 31,338 and that is reflected here. So now let me see how much I put into debt. 15,000 plus 8,326 plus 4,500. That is 27,826 rupees is what went into my debts in the month of January. So now let me add up the new balance. 4,71,635 plus 97,600 plus 31,338. The new balance is 6,573 rupees. So that is my debt update for the month of January. So next month I'm thinking I'll be doing the debt update as a separate video. I don't know, I'll just see. I'm thinking if I have time I will do separate videos, and if I find like there's not enough time, I'll just compile the closeout and the debt update together and make one single video. So thank you so much if you're still here watching. I hope to see you in my next video. Take care you all. It's very cold. It's very cold out here. It's very windy out here as well. So I'll see you soon in my next video. Take care and bye bye.